Hey, I'm Lagasse here. I get asked time and time again about what is it and how is it to make a roux? Well, roux is very simple. It's pretty much half fat, generally oil, generally vegetable oil or canola oil and flour. If you're making something a little bit delicate, maybe like something with seafood, you could use butter and flour. Now, a couple of keys to a great roux. First of all, it's the heat. What most people do is they jack the heat up so high that the roux has a tendency to burn. So you want to adjust your heat, first of all, to start it about medium. The next key, beside a great vessel, is wooden spoons. You can see here I have two sizes, a small one or a larger one. But a wooden spoon, in my opinion, is crucial to make a great roux. Okay? So, now we'll begin. Vegetable oil. And we'll just let that start getting a little hot from the stove. And then what we'll do now is we'll come and we'll start to begin with flour. You can always add, but it's so difficult to take away. So now you're looking for the consistency before we start looking for the color. So we're gonna work in this flour to the oil with our spoon. You know, for many years I used to joke on Emerald Live about how long does it take for the perfect roux, and I always used to say 2 beers. But really, I'm going to show you the different stages today about roux. Because once you master this, you can master stews, soups, gumbos. So look, it's a little thin, so you can see I'm adding a little bit more flour. Just incorporating. And you can see that the top of it has a little sheen to it. You don't really want that necessarily sheen. That means it's a little loose. So once you incorporate that flour, breaking it all down, stirring is very important because you don't want it to burn. So it could use a little bit more flour. So I'm adding a little bit more. And now you can see that we're getting more of the consistency, less of the shine. See, I think that this could even use a little bit more flour. It's usually 50-50. So let's just tighten it up just a little bit more. Incorporate that flour. And now we begin to start cooking the roux. Now, you're going to cook it in stages. The first stage that you can see here is what's called the blonde stage. Kind of blonde in color. From the blonde stage, as it cooks and the heat begins, it's going to then move into like a peanut butter stage. And that's generally the stage that you want for a lot of smothered dishes like smothered chicken, smothered pork chops. But if you go beyond the peanut butter stage, then you get to the light brown. Light brown for a little bit of étouffées, also for stews. And then you keep stirring it, being patient. And once it comes from the light brown, it goes to a medium brown. Keep stirring it. Be patient. And from the medium brown, it goes to a chocolate brown. And you can really start to smell it when it gets to that stage. It's a magical smell that makes really like amazing gumbos, like chicken sausage gumbo or duck and wild mushroom gumbo. But folks, remember, you gotta be patient. You gotta have a wooden spoon, and maybe you should have 2 beers. So now we're just about at the peanut butter stage. So we went blonde, and now we're just about at the peanut butter stage. You see that light peanut butter color? That's the next stage of the roux. So you can see now we're getting very close to the light brown stage now. Great for stews and different smothered dishes. But now this is when it starts to get tricky. When it starts to get to this stage, you got to really watch your heat because it has a tendency to really kind of want to stick and you don't want to burn it. So we're going to adjust the heat down a little bit. Just keep stirring it. And that's the whole trick, folks. And when you get it to the stage that you want it to, that's when you just put your Trinity in it, because then it's going to stop the cooking. It's not going to continue to keep cooking. You see how it's moving pretty fast now. Once it gets to that stage, it's going to move really quick. And when it gets to that stage, this stage here, you got to make sure you really keep stirring it because it'll stick on you. Now that would be the color for some seafood gumbos, delicate seafood gumbos like crab and okra, shrimp and okra. This is a great color stage for that. The thing is you gotta keep stirring it. You gotta be patient. Lower that heat a little bit. Probably right now you probably just finished that first beer. Moving on to the second one. You see how the roux is starting to change. It's getting its personality now. And just keep stirring it. I wish you could smell right now the smells that it gives off. That's when you know you're kind of making a gumbo. You get that smell going right now. See how it's changing now? It's getting that light, almost now getting to the medium brown stage. Look at that, huh? See how it's changing? The personality of that roux is changing so quickly. Look. And you can get it as dark as you want. Some dishes, some gumbos, I get it really, really dark, like it's almost like a chocolate bar. And the smell of it is incredible. But boy, does that make a great chicken sausage or duck and wild mushroom, or even a beef and mushroom gumbo. I mean, you can really add what you want. You don't really want the roux so dark for seafood now. Beyond this point right here, it's starting to get a little bit too dark for seafood elements, right? Now we're getting into like chicken and pork and andouille sausage and yum. Look at that. See how it's taking on its personality there? So at this point, this is when, for an average gumbo, you could keep going. If you want it darker, keep stirring it. But for an average gumbo, this is when I would add my Trinity. And then you might have just mastered the gumbo, and you just might have mastered the roux, because it's all about the roux, folks. All about the roux. There you have it.